The City Council of the City of East Ridge, January 13th, 2022, 6 p.m. I'd like to ask Danny Lance from True Life Church if he'll come forward, provide our invocation, and lead us in our pledge. If everyone will stand.
Heavenly Father, we are so grateful at the beginning of a new year as we look forward with hope and all the opportunities that are ahead of us. And at the same time, there is so much unknown, and yet there is no unknown to you. So, Lord, we ask in this coming year that you direct our steps, that you help us to have words of kindness and peace to one another when there's so much angry language out there. We ask you to help us to be relationship builders. And Lord, most of all, I ask you to direct and lead these people that are our leaders into good decisions for our city. And Lord, I pray that we as the citizens would back them and support them. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Helton,
Here.
Councilmember Witt,
Here.
City Manager Dorsey,
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here. All right, the first item, item B, is a presentation of a Christmas Parade Grand Marshal Award. Ms. Bowers?
Thank you, Mayor. There we go. Well, I guess, there we go.
There you go.
Didn't sound like it was working. If you would like to, Mayor and Council, make your way down here for the presentation, I'll go ahead and read to you all what we had for our Grand Marshal over at the Christmas Parade back on November 20th. So for our Grand Marshals, we have Herman and Mary Schrader. The City of East Ridge is honored to present Herman and Mary Schrader as the Grand Marshals for our 2021 East Ridge Christmas Parade. They both were born in East Ridge, both went to East Ridge schools, and have lived all their lives here and have been happily married for over 60 years. The Schraders have teamed together for over 20 years to bring happiness and joy to people everywhere with their awesome display of Christmas lights on Jason Drive. Families drive many miles during the holiday season to view and experience the amazing lights and decoration display. With their loving hearts, they have allowed donations to be collected during their Christmas lights display, and they have provided thousands of dollars in donations for the East Ridge DD Child Fund in the community kitchen. So we thank Mr. and Ms. Schrader for all that they do for East Ridge and our community. So if you all will come down here and we'll present them with a plaque. And Mr. and Ms. Schrader, if you'll come up here, we'll got something for you.
We appreciate you being our Grand Marshal. All that you do for our city. It is amazing. I hear it was an amazing turnout as usual. Lights. We appreciate everything that you do and have done for our city. Thank you. I'm going to adjust the schedule just a bit instead of me going back up. I'm going to adjust C and D. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one down here so that I can go back up and come back. So if y'all can come forward.
Mayor, Council, this is Officer Robert White and Anna Simmons. They weren't able to be here last meeting when we did this for the rest of them. We're ready for them to be given the oath of honor today.
It is my pleasure and my honor to administer the oath of honor to both of you. Thank you for your service to our city and our citizens. It's greatly appreciated. So if you raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor, I state your name.
Robert White.
Never betray my badge,
My badge.
my integrity,
Integrity.
my character,
My character.
or public trust.
Or the public trust.
Will always have the courage to hold myself
I will always have the courage to hold myself
and others accountable for our actions.
and others accountable for our actions.
Will always uphold the Constitution
I will always uphold the Constitution
and the community I serve.
and the community I serve.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, we'll move back to item C, Employee Milestone Awards for December. This is a program we have to recognize and award our employees for milestones of service for our city. Again, as I state every month, that if it wasn't for our employees, we wouldn't be the city that we are. We appreciate them, and this is a small token with a service award, a certificate, and a monetary check. So this for December, we have Anthony Chavez, that he has had 5 years of service. So we appreciate him. He is one of our officers, and we appreciate them and all of our employees very much. So we will be getting with him to give him his certificate and pin and check this coming week. So we'll move to item 4, which is our consent agenda. I assume everyone has had an opportunity to review the minutes of December 9th, 2021 council meeting. Now, there was a correction. I believe those have been actually published and inserted in your handbooks. Okay. That correction was just a misunderstanding or misinformation on the church that Pastor Arnold was with. Then the approval of the August 2021 financial report, approval of September 2021 financial report. So we have August and September 2021 in this consent agenda, and declaration of surplus property, the IT electronic equipment. I'll entertain a motion for our consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion approved by Vice Mayor Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Witt. Is there any discussion, corrections? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Helton.
Dana wasn't here.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. All right, we'll move to item 5, communication of citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen or business owner, resident to come forward and address the council with any concerns, questions, or accolades. No one is signed in. However, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to come forward, now is your time. You'll have 5 minutes. I see no one. We'll move to communications from council members. We'll start on this side. Councilmember Witt.
I not have anything at this time.
Okay. Councilmember Helton. Vice Mayor Chauncey.
I'll just give an update on the dog park.
Perfect.
Of course, some of y'all may have noticed that we got the fencing up now, and it's just about complete. They should have it all completely finished tomorrow, hopefully. And we got next week. I think we got some concrete coming in for the pads for the placement of the dog benches, and I believe the 18th is when the dog park benches are scheduled to be delivered. So hopefully by the next council meeting, things will really be shaped up out there. So
Awesome. Looking good.
good, yeah. That's all I got.
Councilmember Cagle.
I'd just like to thank the city attorney and the council for accepting my IDB board appointment at the last council meeting.
Thank you, sir. I don't have a lot unusually, but I think that our city manager is going to discuss our East Ridge City Library, some adjusted hours, and then we want to, I believe he's going to also give us an update on Pioneer Frontier and the splash pad. If you've not seen those as you go by, please go by and look at it. It's looking amazing. I will also say that we now are the owners of the property for our animal shelter that was closed down last week. So now that is city property. We'll be having a sign erected saying future home of the East Ridge Animal Shelter. And we are looking at visiting other animal shelters and preparing and designing a concept for ours. And then we'll look at trying to budget that with council approval in the future budget. So excited to have that secured, and now that's our property. That is all that I have, so I'll pass it to our city manager, Dorsey.
Thank you. I have a few things. First, I just want to thank our sanitation crews. They worked this last Saturday to try to do a little catch-up on leaf pickup, and I think Councilwoman Witt sent a picture to me and of them in action to thank them. So I just want to publicly thank them for taking up one of their Saturdays and coming in to help out to try to have us catch up. On the north side, the leaves we're now between Moore and Marlboro on the north side. On the south side, we are around John Ross and Cherokee, I believe, over in that area working. We have one leaf vac working at the moment. The other one is in the shop, surprise. They were both in good shape when we first started the year, but they're getting older and older, so I maybe come back to the council to get some equipment to start when we get to this time next year. We are using knuckle booms and things like that to also pick up leaves. Of course, if people want to put them in bags, we are hopefully getting those up quicker with the knuckle booms as well. So that's what I have on leaf pickup. This week, the RFP finally went out that I've been talking about before on the Mcbride school property, just to get some solicitations from some developers to see what ideas they may have of what we can do with the property and bring that to council and discuss. Those are due on February 24th. Dog park fence, Vice Mayor Chauncey talked about that one. Number 4, I have the splash pad and playground. The splash pad was tested last week, and we had Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation were out here, and they also inspected the splash pad area and the playground to make sure everything was ADA compliant and everything was meeting up with the terms of the grant, and it is. We have a little more work to do on that area. We're putting up a fence. We have some ADA sidewalks to put in, things like that. So it's moving along. So hopefully at the next meeting, or at the most, the meeting after that, we'll be able to announce an opening date for the playground. Of course, the splash pad will probably wait till it gets warmer, around May or Memorial Day, or the usual time would be like Memorial Day to Labor Day, unless it's hot. But that's what the plan is for that. The library you just mentioned. We are having a little staffing shortage in the library at the moment, so they are working some alternate hours right now. So before you go to the library, you may want to call and just double check to see if they are open or what their hours are. They're trying to communicate that some, but just be patient with us at the moment for that. The last thing I have, I notified the council on Monday on this. Our Director of Parks, Adam Wilson, he resigned on Monday. As of now, I have Shauna Skiles is the interim director for Parks. We are looking at what our options are for moving forward with that. We haven't set a timetable yet to select a new director since it just happened 3 days ago, but I will keep the council informed on that as time goes on. And that is all I have.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to new business since we have no old business. So item 9, new business. So 9A, public hearing for resolution number 3228.
This will be public hearing for anyone to come forward for the side variance relative to the Marathon Realty Group, which is the new food city coming in on the west side of the city. A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to approve a variance to the city's sign ordinance number 1028 to allow an increase in the height of a proposed sign on property located at 3636 Ringo Road, tax map number 168D-C-013.
Thank you, sir. I will open this public hearing. Is the applicant, I guess, Mr. Howell, you coming forward in representing the applicant for the sign variance?
I am. I don't believe they were able to attend tonight. They were notified, but this is fairly easy one here, so I didn't know if they need really,
Okay.
so.
Go ahead,
Yes,
sir.
Mayor and Council, the Food City located at 3636 Ringo Road is requesting to add additional 3 foot to the proposed monument sign. The city sign ordinance, as you all know, allows 9 feet maximum height for monument signs and ground sign. The proposed height would be around 12 feet. Staff finds that the additional 3 feet would not negatively impact the site or impose any site visibility due to height adjustments. So staff recommends approval.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone that is in opposition or in favor, would like to come forward at this time? This is your opportunity during this public hearing. I see none. I will close this public hearing, and then we'll move to item B, Resolution 3228.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to approve a variance to the city sign ordinance number 1028 to allow an increase in the height of a proposed sign on property located at 3636 Ringo Road, tax map number 168D-C-013.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3228.
I'll second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Hilton and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Helton.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution 3228 passed.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3229.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Waller Lanston, Dorch and Davis LLP to act as government affairs counsel to the City of East Ridge in regard to matters before the Tennessee General Assembly.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution 3229.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 3229.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Helton. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Helton.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution 3229 passed. Move to item D, resolution 3230.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to appoint Steve Leach as a board member to the Hamlet County Water and Wastewater Treatment Authority.
Yes. Council, back on October the 14th, I was appointed as an interim basis after we had the resignation of Mr. Custer until we could locate someone. I would like to appoint Steve Leach. I'd like to have this board approve the appointment of Steve Leach as the board member to the Wastewater Treatment Authority. He is the current chairman of our Zoning Appeals Board. He has previously served as the Director of Administration of the Regional Planning Agency. He has served our city for over 20 years at some capacity. He is a longtime East Ridge resident. He would be an excellent choice in representing East Ridge as our representative on the WWTA board. So I would like to I'll entertain a motion.
Make motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Any discussion?
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Due to what happening over the Christmas holidays, will his phone number be made available to the citizens? If they can't get in touch down there, they can get in touch with him, then let him.
So the protocol is, because I talked with the director and I sent all the council members, the protocol is to call the numbers that I'd listed, and we can share that and put that on our website. And he even gave me an escalation number, an after hours and a weekend number, and then even an escalation to somebody physically of course, it'd be during office hours. So he asked not to call board members directly, if possible. So that's why, I went ahead and found out what the protocol was, and I shared that with the council, and we can put that definitely on our website as well. Right.
Every phone number is a help when the citizens is
I
calling
understand.
you about it.
I understand. Does that answer your question, sir? Thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. And I want to thank Mr. Leach for his continued service and willingness to step into this position and represent our city. I believe he'll do very well. We'll move to item E, discussion of adult changing table. Is that?
All right. Okay, I think several months ago, we had Roddy Coe, who was appointed by Governor Lee. He is on the Tennessee Council on Developmental Disabilities, and he came in and spoke to us about installing adult changing tables somewhere in Camp Jordan. And I believe that City Manager Dorsey located a
Spot
restroom that
between,
would work.
by the soccer fields 2 and 3, right in that area where we have the main, we already have a set of bathrooms right there, and that'd be an easy place, we think, to be able to add on to complement this.
I looked at the bathroom, and it's a great location, and Mr. Coe also looked, and he thought it would be perfect. I have already, I have private donors from the private sector who's willing to cover the cost of the changing table. We just needed a bathroom. So I would like for the council to consider to vote to approve this so we can move forward. I think it's just really important that Camp Jordan is inclusive for everybody.
So, do we want to,
I think,
how do you want to handle this?
well, let's do this, Ms. Helton. How do you want to frame the motion to make sure we get it right? We can move to do it.
Well, I guess I could go ahead and get the money,
Mhm.
and have the money on hand, and then
Okay.
we could bring Mr. Coe back maybe at the next council meeting, and we can see how.
Okay. Well, in that matter, go ahead.
And in the interim, with the blessing of the council, we can go ahead and start doing some more investigation with seeing the positive nature of this, to start looking at the bathroom and see, try to maybe get some preliminary estimates to see how much we're talking about for the bathroom and everything else, so we can maybe join this together.
Yeah, and prepare the,
Basically, I
Resolution.
want to just try to proceed and start moving forward with it, so hopefully by spring, we can have an adult changing table. And any age can use this table, from children to adults. Currently, right now, if you have a disability and you're in a wheelchair, sometimes you have to be changed on the floor. So this is just going to make Camp Jordan more inclusive and great for anybody.
absolutely. I believe all the council is in favor of this. Yes, sir.
We're gonna build a his and a hers, or is this gonna be a his and hers combined?
It's going to be.
Okay.
Any other questions? Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll look forward to that in the next session. All right, we did have a addendum added as item F, resolution number 3231.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, awarding the rebid for U.S. Highway 41 State Route 8 of Ringo Road Corridor Improvement Project from Kingwood Drive, Wimberley Lane to Mcbride Road.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As you all may remember, back in November, we approved a bid for this already. And then after the council approves the bid, it goes to the Department of Transportation for them to look over and to offer a concurrence of the bid and to move on. When it went up to the to TDOT, they noticed in the entire thick document, on one line, right under where it had the 6 million, where it was, the $6.3 million on there, that the line right underneath it, that the contractor didn't write out, SIXMILLION THREE 100, like on a check, write out the amount in cursive, or in words, I'm sorry. And so TDOT rejected the bid. So because of that, we had to go out and bid it again. And the second time we bid it, we had one bidder, and that was Tally Construction Company. They were the ones that had the bid the first time. In all, the bid came in $170,000 higher than the bid we had back in November because costs of certain materials are still escalating up. So with all that, the new amount that we are looking for is $6,483,651.96. Of that, as we were doing previously, the ARPA funding is out there, and instead of using general fund dollars on this, we were going to use the stormwater money, use that for stormwater, which was amount of $3,142,492.28. So the general fund portion of this would be $3,341,159.68. So that's a little higher than what was the budget. If you remember last time, we talked about that as well. So in general, this just comes in $170,000 more than it did back in November, all because they didn't write out the amount of the bid.
Thank you, sir. I will.
This, it will go back to TDOT to go through concurrence again.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3231.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3231.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, I've got a question. So Tally gave us this bid, and it's supposed to be good. They were going to honor it, whether if it was approved by TDOT or not. They were going to honor it if it was approved.
Right.
The work hasn't began yet. So now that TDOT, they had to go rebid it, did they find some things that were good, just some?
There were certain things that the price went up on. I think you have a copy of all the itemizations. I didn't put in what the prices were from the last time, but yes, there's certain items that in 3 months have escalated in cost. Most of those were dealing with things on stormwater.
But they were going to have to incur those costs anyways if they did,
Originally, but yep, you're right. But TDOT made us start from scratch, and we had to do the bids all over again, so they didn't have to honor their first bid. Government purchasing.
Any other questions?
I've noticed this attached to the resolution, the numbers don't match.
Should.
You said it was $3,142,000.
That's the total amount of the ARP funds we get this year. If you notice, the resolution says that will cover most of the stormwater costs, not all of them.
Stormwater totaled, that is what's going to be that we're going to take out of the ARP.
Yes.
Okay, well, on this sheet, it says $3,380,000.
Right, but if you notice, it says, be it further resolved that ARPA funding will be utilized for most of the stormwater portion of this project in the amount of approximately $3,142,492.28. That's all we're getting on the ARPA. So that's why of the $3,380,000, $3,142,000 of that will be covered by the ARPA funding. So the rest, the $3,102,000 that's left, plus that little bit that's not stormwater, that's the remainder that you see on here. Of the $3,341,159. Notice that's a little bit higher than the $3,102,000. So that difference is what the RPA is not covering.
Any other questions? see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3231 passed. That is all that we have on the agenda for this session. I will, however, remind all the council that we do have a tabled item, that's ordinance number 1152. Just want to remind everyone of that if there's anyone that wants to take action. If not, I will move then to discussion of our tentative agenda for January the 27th, 2022. Under new business, we have unnumbered ordinance, budget amendment for first reading.
Yes, sir. This will have all the purchases that y'all have approved outside of what we've already had budgeted. I will also add to it the construction cost into the capital projects. If you could go ahead and give me an idea of what the donations and things will be. I can add that, to put that in the budget, the donation and the cost. We could possibly have a purchase of a vehicle or something.
I was going to say, we may also look,
Have
we need
to-
to look into, on the next agenda, we'll be discussing the purchase of another police vehicle.
Because
And I won't say why.
But, so I've got to add those to it. But I promise I will have it at this next meeting and hopefully not have to change it between first and second reading, if I can get everything.
Well, honestly, we had another police vehicle that was deemed totaled, so we need to replace that vehicle.
Oh, and we did receive, if y'all remember, we had a sanitation truck that was hit and it was totaled. And we did receive that money in the past 2 weeks. They were able to get the garbage off of the sanitation truck and the salvage company is coming to get it. So we got $100 and I believe $64,000 for that garbage truck, which will be able to help build their fund balance because I'm sure we're going to have to get a new garbage truck. And then also we have received some of our FEMA money I should have wrote it down, 240, it was over 200,000. And part of that will be going to the sanitation fund also for what was the cost for getting rid of the debris, the use of the knuckle boom.
Easter tornado.
Yes, so that's another that's going to help increase their fund balance. So all that's also going to be on this budget amendment.
Any questions, council?
Could we go ahead and be putting out the bid for a new garbage truck?
You beat me to it, I was going to ask.
Can we
We're-
vote on it tonight, go ahead and put it out?
Well, you don't have to vote if we're going to go ahead and put it out for
Okay.
bid. We just got to get the specs and move forward on it.
What I'd
Because
like
we
to
might
do-
even be able to find one on state contract. So far, we've been okay on with the garbage trucks we have now. We know we're going to need a new one
Yes,
at
we are
some
going to,
point.
yeah,
I'm more concerned about getting leads up.
so.
Or it's like everybody else, they're behind on parts, the sooner
big
you
time.
get it ordered.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, right now, when we're putting something in the shop, it takes a while. We're waiting on parts.
Thank you. Anything else? Any other discussion? All right. That's all that we have on the tentative agenda for January the 27th, 2022. Is there any other business needs to be added?
I did
Yes, sir.
get a call from the developers on the budgetel. They had requested that the city consider at the next council meeting their rezoning.
Rezoning?
Yeah. And that's been tabled, so that's why it's not on here. It's up to you all if you want to remove it from the table, but that was a request from the developer.
Yeah, and then that's why I mentioned it tonight, if there was anyone wanted to bring that off table. So we will reiterate that. I will reiterate that next council meeting as well, to see if anyone wants to bring that off the table.
And if it, just so the public would know that if it is moved to be brought off the table, the public can vote on it at that time. So that's not a surprise to people. It can be voted on at that time. If it's got to first be removed, and then it would be voted on if action was taken. Just because it's removed from the table doesn't mean action. It may go back to the table, but.
Or it could be postponed. It could come off the table and be postponed to be scheduled
To
for
a
the next
specific
meeting.
date.
Yeah, it could.
So the citizens might.
Right,
Yeah.
so, didn't want to surprise anybody. It could be voted on that night.
Anything else? All right.
But it takes 2 readings.
That's
But
right,
just
yeah,
so people
That is correct.
don't think that
Yeah.
it come up and it can be voted on and be done.
I'm
It takes
sorry.
2 readings.
This
Not
would
to
be the
suggest
first
it would be
reading.
passed.
Yeah, it
Correct.
got tabled at the first reading, so it
Correct.
would take 2. That is correct. Good point. Thank you, sir. All right. I don't see anything else. Meeting adjourned.